Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar about the Deep Ocean Education Project website. My name is Liz Hoadley, and I'm the Web Development and Logistics Specialist with the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation, assigned to NOAA Ocean Exploration. I've been coordinating the development of the Deep Ocean Education Project website for the past year. This website, which launched on June 8th, World Ocean Day, is a collaboration between NOAA Ocean Exploration Trust, and Schmidt Ocean Institute. The site brings together engaging ocean education materials from all three organizations into a one-stop shop for educators and learners of all ages. I'm excited to have with me today several members of the team that made this website possible. Shortly, we will kick off the webinar with leaders from each of the partnering organizations, and they will share with us a little bit of the background behind the website, including how these three leaders in ocean exploration education and research teamed up, and how they came up with the concept of the shared educational website. Then, for those of you that haven't yet explored the website, we'll take you on a brief tour of the site, highlighting the key features it has to offer. And lastly, we'll conclude the event with a question and answer session where myself and one of the educators that has been instrumental in the website's development, Dejana Figueroa, will answer your questions live. All you have to do is type them in the chat wherever you're watching today's webinar, and you can type those questions at any point during tonight's event. And my awesome team behind the scenes will help me pull those questions up on screen for us to answer. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to David, Carly, and Allison to get us started with a little bit of the art background to the site.
Great, thanks very much, Liz. My name is David McKinney. I'm with the NOAA Ocean Exploration Program. And just a few words of introduction. As you may know, education has always been a very important part of NOAA Ocean Exploration, going back to the early 2000s when the program was established. Our partnership with aquariums and other informal learning institutions through the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation has allowed us to reach educators for professional development, and it's been a great success over time. We've developed rich content to support educators, and we provided other programming as well. But we needed to rethink our approach as classroom needs changed and evolved, demands on teachers increased, new standards came into place. And in 2018, we requested that our Ocean Exploration Advisory Board, a very senior advisory group to the NOAA administrator, conduct an independent review of NOAA's ocean exploration education activities. Among many important recommendations about accessibility, making sure that our content was relevant, one of the most significant was that we collaborate with partners like Ocean Exploration Trust and Schmidt Ocean Institute to offer educators one-stop shopping for materials key to current teaching standards. Both Carly and Allison were on that review panel, and as the three of us had collaborated before, it was only natural that we started thinking about creative ways to respond to the review recommendations. Carly?
David. Yeah, it's incredible to think that just less than 3 years ago, we were sitting around in 2018 in Boston at the NOAA Exploration Forum and talking about, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could have a one-stop shop for all of the incredible imagery that we've put together that can be used and curated by theme and playlist. And well, here we are today, and it is an incredible day for us to be able to bring this all together. Whether you are a classroom educator, a home learner, or just for personal interest, this website is going to make it so much easier for you to be able to explore our resources and curate what works for you. Our goal is to make something unique for the ocean community, but take inspiration from streaming platforms like Netflix so that you can create your own list and bring in other pieces of the ocean exploration that are important, such as calendars, schedules, as well as lesson plans and other materials. We've been able to refine these ideas in educator workshops. We held one in ocean sciences back in 2020 in San Diego, and we've been planning and working since then with our larger team, and we are very excited about the final product and look forward to sharing it with you today. I'd like to turn it over now to Allison Fundis to share a little bit more about who's been working on this over the last couple of years.
Thanks, Carly and David. So I'll just echo their excitement, and we're all really excited to share this with you today. And as Carly mentioned, there's been a team behind this. So over the past year, there have been a number of people and organizations contributing to the Deep Ocean Education Project, which we're all so thrilled to be sharing with you today. And we'd like to extend our deepest thanks to our web developers, Gecko Designs, to the website's graphic designer, Jen Ortiz, and to our teams at Ocean Exploration Trust, Schmidt Ocean Institute, and NOAA Ocean Exploration. We would also like to thank all of the educators and content developers that have contributed the many resources that are now featured on this new website. And a very special shout out to Tina Chan, Dr. Dejana Figueroa, Lindsay Manzo, and April Tucker, who have served as our advisory committee of educators throughout this project. We're also grateful to NOAA Education, to the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation, and to NOAA Ocean Exploration for funding this work, and to Liz Hoadley for her tireless work on ensuring we successfully reached each project milestone along the way. So we hope that you will enjoy the Deep Ocean Education Project just as much as we have enjoyed creating it together.
For the first time, 3 leaders in ocean exploration and research, the Ocean Exploration Trust, Schmidt Ocean Institute, and NOAA Ocean Exploration, have brought together their engaging ocean education materials into a one-stop shop for educators and learners of all ages. The Deep Ocean Education Project is a resource hub combining standard-aligned student activities, high-resolution image and video galleries, stories from the field, and all the information needed to stay up to date on expeditions that make learning about the deep sea accessible to everyone. Explore the combined resources by grade, topic, or discipline. When you find something you want to come back to for quick reference, the Deep Ocean Education Project gives you the ability to save resources to collections. Sign up for a free account with just basic info about your interests in the deep sea. And don't forget to opt in for educator-specific newsletters from each organization. Populate your collection list by diving into all the education resources available. Find something you like? To save, click Add to My Collection and select the folder you want to save that resource to. After building a great collection for your course, camp, or at-home learners, you can share it with a friend or colleague. All you need is their email to send your whole collection directly to their inbox. In addition to great resources, the Deep Ocean Education Project website also has more ways to connect to ocean exploration and the deep sea through these cutting-edge organizations. Check out the Vessels page to see where the 3 exploration partners are on expedition today and which ships are streaming live right now. Head over to the Events and Opportunities page to find ways to connect directly with the mission team through live events, classroom programs, and opportunities to join the team at sea and on shore. Keep on exploring and share your favorite resources with other educators and ocean enthusiasts on social media using hashtag #DeepOceanEducation.
Hi, everyone. So now it's time for our question and answer session. And if you have any questions about the website, its features, or where we can help you find stuff, please go ahead and type those in the chat now from wherever you're tuning in from. And while those early questions come in, I actually have a few to kick us off with Dejana. So Dejana, do you want to start by introducing yourself?
Absolutely. So I am Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist, deep sea biologist in training, but marine educator. I'm currently a K through 12 teacher. I teach high school marine biology, middle school ocean science and physical science, and then I teach little kids too. So I'm all about opening up the ocean and just providing access for our youngest learners all the way up through high school to really, explore the ocean and learn about this amazing resource that we should be stewards of. So I'm so excited to be here, and I'm even more excited about this amazing resource that we now have in the form of this website.
Fantastic. And so Dejana, you've been involved in this website since day one, providing ideas to get the project started, but also providing feedback throughout its development. And now that the website's live, what feature are you most excited about?
I know it's live and I am excited. So as an educator, I have to say the feature that I absolutely love is the ability to save resources to collections. Like we have the ability to make our own collections or curate our own material depending on what we need. And that's just been really, really transformative because you can go to one place and have all of your resources organized how your own brain would organize them. So for example, for me, if I'm teaching little kids, I could make a collection that says K1 ocean exploration materials, and I can add all of the resources, whether that's student activities or videos, all into that one collection. And then I can share it with my collaborators. This is a game changer for sure.
That's awesome. And you actually answered both of my questions. And so it looks like we have a few coming in from our audience. And I'm going to ask, oh, there we go. We've got our first one. So can I make an account and save things to collections if I'm not an educator? And fantastic question. And the answer is yes. So while it says educator account up at the top, anyone can make an account. There's just a few questions you need to answer, including your name and an email so that we can set it up and email you to register. And you can check in your roles. So if you're not an educator, you can just select other and let us know what materials you're interested in, how you found out about us. And then one extra perk is you have the ability to sign up for any of the education newsletters from our organizations. And so while these tend to be education oriented, there's a lot more information there. And things like tonight's event would be included in these newsletters. And once you've got an account, next time you come back, you'll just log in. And from there, you'll have the ability, like you saw in the short video, to create and curate those lists. All right. Can we get another question? Is there any plan to add the full recordings of the past ROV dives from across all 3 organizations? Great. And it looks like all of the organizations do offer their past recordings on their websites, on YouTube actually specifically. One way to check out the current expeditions is if you go and live streams, if you go to either the homepage or the vessels page, you'll see the notification of who's live streaming. And if you follow that, it'll take you to the website for that organization and with their feed as well. And again, for past live streams, check out YouTube. Great. Will any of the resources be appropriate for someone in 6th form? But I hope to study marine biology in university. I'm wondering if this means 6th grade. And there is content geared towards all student learners. And if I'm misreading your question, I apologize. But if you head to the Explore section, oh, I was just corrected by our team. This is why I love having a team. 6th form is university level. Fantastic. So most of the education resources on here are geared for a 6 to 12 audience. We do have some available for younger students. For our university audience, however, one page that's really helpful is our events and opportunities. So if you check this page out, the top half has kind of our singular events. So these are one-time deals, whether it's like tonight's webinar, an upcoming professional development, or maybe hopefully eventually soon in-person interactions, like ship tours. But down on the bottom of this page, we have programs and opportunities. And here you can filter by audience. And you'll notice we do have some for the university level. And so these are more longstanding programs, opportunities to go to sea with one of our organizations, to intern with us. And so hopefully, you know, there's something available for everybody on this site. Great. Can I get another question? Are there any translations available? Fantastic question. For the education resources themselves, a lot of the Ocean Exploration Trust education resources, so if you go to the Explore page and you scroll down to organization, Ocean Exploration Trust, and for student activity specifically, A lot of these are offered in both English and Spanish, but the whole website is actually available to be translated. If you scroll down to the bottom, it is using Google Translate, so it's not going to be a perfect translation, but this is an area that we are hoping to develop for the site in the future to be able to offer everything. Okay. Now, Dejana, I got another question for you. You mentioned sharing collections. Can you tell us a little bit more about that feature? And I'm happy to share my screen so viewers can see what that is, but I'd love to hear more from you about what that is and how you can use it or plan to use it in your classroom next year.
Absolutely. So as a classroom teacher, we spend a lot of time developing our courses and collecting different materials that we're going to use in class. And oftentimes, I am not the only teacher. I'm collaborating. I have a co-teacher, or there's other schools or other classrooms that we're going to connect together and do this investigation. So the cool thing is that I can go into my account. And again, I love that it's available for anybody. So I'm doing it through an educator's lens, but I could also do this as a parent lens with a kid that really, really is interested in something. And I can easily share my collection or my list with another person. That for the work that I spent putting together all of these resources doesn't have to be repeated by somebody else. We can share our collections, which is actually a really, really valuable time saver for educators. But I just thought of this. I could totally share. I could make, like, my son's really into the deep sea vampire squid. I could make a bunch of videos for him and share with him as well. It's kind of cool.
Fantastic. Yeah. And actually, this is just our demonstration account. And one of the thoughts we had was even a summer camp for marine science would be another fun one. So definitely the ability to curate lists for all ages and really geared towards what you're looking for.
Exactly. Which is pretty powerful.
Great. All right. We've got some more questions coming in. So are there any resources for finding internships or hands-on opportunities with you guys on here? So with our 3 organizations, all of those opportunities that would be available are found on the events and opportunities page. So if you click up at the top, again, events are opportunities to join us. These tend to be more the single standing events. So you'll see a lot of professional developments and webinars on here. But down towards the bottom for programs and opportunities, these are ones that are longer, like internships. Teacher at Sea might be one you've heard of before, or some of our internships like the Explorer in Training. There's also contests like patch design contests. And so for each one of these, the Apply Now will take you actually to that organization's website for more information in order to find out how you can apply. You've got deadlines on here and what timeline or time of the year this opportunity is offered. So a lot of information.
That's awesome, Liz. I just wanted to make a point that is an amazing resource, because sometimes it's really hard to find all these different opportunities that are out there. But right here in one site, if you're interested in getting some hands-on experience or some training, you can basically go to one spot and find a variety of deep ocean experiences available for you. I wish I had that when I was just starting off in the deep sea. Had to just put those 2 cents in there real quick.
No, I love that. And Dejana, do you have any experience in any of these that you want to speak to?
Oh my goodness. So I have done a couple of the trainings for educators, which is great. And I'm already looking at this like teacher at sea situation, because here I am a teacher, but obviously I'm not at sea right now. Maybe I need to be. So it's really cool. Like, I don't know. I did a lot of internships coming up and I had to really search for them. And so now to have a resource where you can kind of easily find resources in one spot, I think that's really, that accessibility is going to bring all sorts of people to this field.
Fantastic. Okay. I think we've got another question queued up. How kid-friendly is it? So I have a 5-year-old obsessed with the deep sea, and I love to hear this. Start them young is what I say. But on the Explore part of the site, this is really your kind of the starting point to dive into all of our resources. So it's not going to be everything from all 3 organizations, but it really is the best of. And so here, if you've got a student or child or friend or colleague that's interested in any deep sea topic, there's a couple ways to explore and find resources that are just right for them. Maybe there's a topic that specifically interests them. I know bioluminescence is personally one of my favorite. So if you follow that, it will take you to a page of just resources related to that topic. And you can further filter that by what you're looking for. And so maybe for someone, for a 5-year-old child, videos might be the most exciting, or image galleries. They might not be ready for student activities yet, but we'll get them there. If you go back to that Explore page, you can also kind of further refine using the Start Your Search. So this is our advanced search filter. Here you can use a keyword search, but you can also filter by topic, which again are those 12 above. You can search by organization, resource type. And here, if you are looking for student activities, there's some additional options that are really geared for our teachers here. And so we've got grade level, and we do have resources available for kindergarten through 2nd, although I will mention most of ours are geared for middle school and high school audience. Connection to the next generation science standards, as well as our broader science disciplines.
Absolutely, Liz. And another feature, just in case you have young kids, I have 3 of my own young kids, is if you did make an account and started a collection, I could make a collection of deep sea videos for my 5-year-old and just have them go through it. Nice, safe, no YouTube, no ads. They can just do a deep dive on all of these really cool videos because they're interested in the ocean. A nice, safe place to explore the deep sea as well. So, you know, with a little bit of your help, you can really utilize this website in a way that could be really fun and engaging for the youngest learners.
Fantastic. And I was going to say another page that I feel like our younger audience, and actually probably our audience of all ages, that we haven't dived into too deeply yet is the vessels page. I think this page is really awesome for a couple reasons. So if you're just someone who's generally interested and you want to see where in the world are people exploring and what are they doing there, the top of this page starts off with a map, and you can see where all 3 organizations and their ships are exploring at sea. And if you click them, you can find out more information about what they're currently doing, like the Okeanos Explorer, which is NOAA Ocean Exploration's research vessel, or NOAA ship, is currently in the middle of its 2021 ROV shakedown. If you scroll down this page, you've got a little bit more information about where those ships are, as well as who's live streaming. And for each of these, if they are live streaming, as I showed earlier, it's going to take you right to that live feed on their website. But even if they're not, this is going to take you to that organization's website where you can find out more, and there's more great videos there as well as upcoming or information about upcoming expeditions. If we go back to that vessels page and keep going, maybe no one's live streaming today, which we know isn't quite true based on this. But if we weren't, and you want to plan because you know your little one really wants to tune in and see the coolest animal swim across stage live or across the screen live, you can scroll down to the calendar and see what expeditions are upcoming, and you can also plan around that. So if you're a teacher, I think this is a great feature because maybe you have a topic that's related to ocean exploration and you're pretty flexible about where in your curriculum that fits in. And if you take a look at the calendar, you might be able to plan around being able to live stream in your classroom. I know I have personally kept live streams up while my students were working when I was in a classroom situation. It is fantastic to keep up in the background because you never know what's going to swim across. What about you, Dejana? What's your favorite for keeping up with our vessels?
Oh my gosh, I love having the live stream just playing in the background is the best because it's really opening up the ocean and letting my students in classroom know this is happening right now. You know, we might not even be doing we might be having morning circle, but just to know that exploration is happening right now is so cool. And this site allows us to connect with three different vessels that could potentially be currently exploring, which is and the map situation. It's kind of cool. Like where am I? Where's my class versus where are the researchers at? So this little geography thing going on there as well. So another really cool, thing to explore in the website is that vessels page.
Fantastic. All right, it looks like we've got some more questions coming in. As an entertainment design and visual arts student, I'm interested in doing ocean science related work for my portfolio. Are there other artist outreach programs other than Artists at Sea? Ooh, I am not familiar with any other than the Artists at Sea, but I'm going to reach out to my team behind the scenes. Seems like that's going to be our top opportunity, or the patch design contest, actually, if you're looking to compete, might be a great avenue for you. Again, both of those can be found on the events and opportunities page. And if you scroll down, here's the patch design contest. So this year's has already closed. But if you click the apply now, it will take you to that page and you can learn more. As well as Artists at Sea. I think I already scrolled by. Yes. So again, it is closed for this year, but hope to have you apply and see you in the future. And yeah, Carly, this is the Schmidt Ocean Institute program. And so I'm going to ask Carly to come back on and maybe speak a little bit more to that.
So this year, we have closed the applications, but we are working on our new vessel Falcor 2, which will allow for ample berthing for artists to participate in our program. We accept artists of all different backgrounds. We've had in the past musicians, designers, sculptures, fabric artists, so all different types of arts. If you're interested in getting on the Artists at Sea mailing list as well, or want to pitch us some of your work, feel free to email outreach@schmidtocean.org as well.
Fantastic. And I was just reminded again, I love our behind the scenes team, that all of our organizations feature art on social media from time to time. And so feel free to submit to any of our contact emails, and all of those are available on the site, and we can help connect you to who the best person would be in each organization. Great. All right. Do I have any more questions? If not, I think I've got, there we go. Are there any plans to add more vessels to the page in the future? Ooh, I know just the right person to answer this question. Can we get David back on screen?
Great, thanks, Liz, and a very good question. That would be our hope for the future. Right now, because the three organizations work together so closely, we decided to keep the team small. But our expectation and hope is that as we stabilize and maybe get into version 2, there'll be other organizations that express an interest, and we'll be able to include information about their vessels or other activities on that map. Again, we want this to be one-stop shopping for anyone who needs information about ocean exploration, and conveying that information to their students or their children, or just because they're interested. Great question.
Yeah, and especially considering, as Carly mentioned, we've got the Falcor 2 coming up. We've got a couple NOAA-funded opportunities. So definitely looking for more ways to expand this page in the future.
Yeah, great point.
Great. All right. I've got a few more questions. So one that we've been asked a lot is how often, actually, speaking of updates, we plan to add new content to the site. And so this is one I'm really excited about. So in addition to already being in the early phase of planning kind of a next round of updates for the site, if we go back to the website for just a second, and we head to that Explore page, because again, this is where a bulk of the resources for this website are going to be housed. Something all three of our teams are also working on the sideline, as David mentioned, we do a lot of work together, is developing new content. So right now we are actively producing student lesson plans, exploration notes, which are stories from the field, and fact sheets to help supplement and provide information and things to do for each one of these topics. And already have a list going for topics that we would like to also explore in the future. But right now we are still working through these 12. So definitely stay tuned. There's going to be constantly new stuff coming in, especially as all three of our organizations are at sea exploring. We're excited to be back out this year after, obviously last year was a little different. So new content will constantly be added. Some great places to find the newest materials would be on the individual topic pages. The top section of each of those topic pages are going to be featured resources, and these will be most recently added from each of the organizations. And then another great place is the homepage. So if you just click on the main logo for the site, it'll take you back to our home screen. And as Carly mentioned in her introduction, one of the coolest features, I think, of the homepage is this Netflix-style carousel, because it brings something familiar but to a new audience. But here we've used it in order to feature new content for each of our topics. And so if you click on each of the items in that carousel, you can learn a little bit more about that resource. You can jump straight to it, and you can add it right to your collection from that screen. All right, Dejana, I have another question for you, speaking of materials. So this might be a good one for the audience to participate too. So we have 12 current themes for ocean exploration featured on the site. So they range from archaeology or underwater cultural heritages to the Arctic to bioluminescence. What are some exciting topics you can think of that you might want to see, or an educator audience related to ocean exploration?
Got it. So we got the cool, what is it called? The cool headliners, like bioluminescence, all that kind of cool stuff. But what about things like, is there like a technology piece? A lot of my students are interested in the technology involved in exploring the ocean, and not just the actual ships or the underwater vehicles, but like, what are scientists using to do, like, a lot of them do molecular biology. Are we doing molecular stuff down there? What type of technology enables us to better understand stuff that's happening in the deep sea? So I wonder if there could be a whole branch of different technological things for those who are about the tech side and on the programming side and on like the autonomous underwater vehicles. I know there's so much stuff with sonar and programming and all that kind of stuff. I know I'm talking for the older bunch, but I think that'd be kind of cool to explore, kind of the back end on that, right?
Future development. And actually, speaking of future development, it looks like we've got another question just like it. So do you plan in the future to develop a mobile app related to this project? So I can't speak specifically as to whether that's something in development right now, but I will say that the website is mobile friendly. So you can currently open this up on a web browser in both a mobile platform and also like a tablet size. And it is set up to adjust and be easy to use on all screen sizes. Awesome. Can I get one more? I think actually we've got time for a few more questions. Keep them coming. Any questions from my team in the back? If not, I can turn to my list. All right, another one about resources. So we've got the current topics featured here. Dejana's given us a couple that she'd be excited to feature. And it looks like we have some people commenting in the chat of topics they want to see as well. I know personally, I really want to see animal adaptations, because deep sea creatures are just so fascinating. And why bioluminescence is pretty awesome. It'd be really cool to feature all of those. Another kind of question with that is, on the Explore page, you're going to find resources from just the 3 organizations. So from NOAA Ocean Exploration, Ocean Exploration Trust, and Schmidt Ocean Institute. However, the one page we have not mentioned yet is our extras page. And so if you've searched the Explore page and you're still looking for something that you just haven't found yet, hop on over to the extras page. And here we have pulled additional resources from other ocean exploring or ocean education organizations. And so each of these, this is just a list and takes you to their education page. Some of them, like for PBS Learning, it will direct you to a pre-searched filter for ocean resources. And so here's all the ocean content you can imagine from PBS Learning, where you can continue to filter and hopefully find exactly what you're looking for. There's also some really great stuff on here from the sanctuaries, from MBARI, which is the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute. And so this is another place that we're excited to kind of build out over time and continue to add resources to. So if you think there's content that we're missing, again, one thing that you can always do is reach out to us and let us know. We are always looking for ways to update the site and keep it current. And the best way to do that is to email us at info@deepoceaneducation.org. And I'll see if, so that again, that's info@deepoceaneducation.org is that email. So if you've got great ideas, again, reach out, contact us. Great. Oh, I've got a question about a deep sea field guide. Ooh. David, you might know the most about this one, about development for a deep sea field guide.
Okay, thanks. So we've actually begun work on something like this, and we do have some resources that are available on our own website. A benthic animal guide is one. You can search our, and I won't be able to pull it up quickly, but maybe it's something we should add to the Deep Ocean Education Project site. We are looking at ways that we can provide a simple field guide so that someone can more easily follow along with an expedition. The scientists involved, of course, are speaking in scientific terms, and they're using the Latin names. And any of us on this call might sometimes have a hard time keeping up with that, but a field guide certainly would help, and it's something we have under consideration.
Great.
I don't know, since I now have the mic and a video screen, I know there was a question that came through, and I don't know whether it's being queued up or not, but I wanted to address the question about the scientific involvement in a shakedown cruise, if that's right, Liz, if we have time.
Yeah, of course. Okay,
sure. So when we're doing shakedown, what we're doing is testing all of the new and old equipment that's on board. So the Okeanos Explorer hasn't sailed since 2019, given the pandemic. So we've upgraded systems. During that time, the ship was retrofitted, so we had to take out all of the equipment and put it back in. So it's a period of pretty extreme engineering testing. But we are always connected to shore, and we are testing the way that scientists interact with making sure the speed of telepresence is working and all of those things. But I think an important point to make is that we're always exploring. And there was a case, and I'm going to get the date wrong, I think it was in the late spring of 2019. We were doing a shakedown, and we very unexpectedly came across an old shipwreck from the 1800s. So we were using telepresence. We were able to get on the phone. We were able to contact marine archaeologists, and within, I'd say, 15 minutes, we had an entire science party assembled on shore, helping the ship determine what that was and maximize the value of that discovery. So, for example, a lot of photographs were taken so that a 3D photo mosaic could be made. A lot of discussion about what the ship was and where it was going and what it might have been doing. And we're able to just draw from the incredible knowledge out in the community in a way that, of course, wouldn't be possible without telepresence. So I hope that answers the question. Sort of engineering testing for shakedown, but we're always exploring.
I think that's an important message for us all to take home. All right, let's see if I can get one more question up here. All right. Do we have any resources focused on issues around climate change like ocean acidification? Great question. So while ocean acidification isn't a specific topic addressed right now on the site, a couple places you can find content related. We do have the Arctic, and there are lessons related to that and related to climate. And then again, this is just the best of content that fits in these 12 topics. So I would encourage you, if you're not finding what you're looking for here, it doesn't mean that one of our organizations doesn't have it. And so if you head to the About page is probably the easiest way to hop on over. And you can check out each of the organization's websites, and all of them have an education section on the site. We'll check out Nautilus Live as a demo. So if you head to their education page, here you can check out their education resources, or if you know specifically what you're looking for, like climate change, You can sort by broad theme, or if you scroll down, again, you can search by topics. And so this is a great place to help filter content as well. So that is a topic that we hope to keep building, but we are going to start with those 12 themes that we've already addressed. Great. And then Dejana has a great question. Dejana, do you want to ask your question?
Sure. As an educator, I'm always curious about what type of permissions I have using some of this amazing content. So this website is full of different types of resources, images, there's videos, there's student activities. What type of permissions do we have to share? Sharing these videos, sharing these images. Could I use them in my own, slideshows that I'm using with my students? I'm curious about that.
Fantastic question, especially with the Share Your Collection. For education, we encourage you to share widely. But for specifics about terms and conditions, down on the footer of each page, we do actually have a terms and conditions page. They are slightly different for each of the organizations. And so if you're really getting down to it, this is the best place to check that out and make sure that you're in compliance. Here you also have the contact emails that can help further address those questions.
That's awesome. Thanks so much. We want to make sure everything that we do is completely legal, legit and approved.
Fantastic. All right, I think I have time for one last question. And I know it is one of David's favorite topics. And do you guys have a specific team of naval architects for your vessels or ROVs? So David, I'm going to bring you back on to take this away before we wrap up our show.
Okay, great. Thanks, Liz. And another great question. Really, I think I speak for all of us when I say how much we enjoy getting these questions and the engagement. So thanks to everyone who's involved and asking questions. So in terms of naval architects, I think we probably all handle it differently, but it's interesting to note that each of the 3 ships of exploration operating right now in the 3 organizations are retrofitted from some other purpose. The Okeanos Explorer is an old Navy vessel. The Falkor supported fisheries in Germany, and I'm blanking. I don't quite remember what the Nautilus' past life was, but so there's been a series of updates and sort of continuous improvement in each of the vessels. And now Schmidt's about to bring on Falkor 2, which would be a really, really impressive ship to add to the fleet. So yes, the organizations that actually operate the vessels, whether it's contracted or whether it's internal, they're naval architects and engineers looking at the ships themselves. Similarly, with ROVs and other robotic equipment, we might have contractors, we might have grant partners, we might have other ways of doing it, including in-house expertise to make sure that those vehicles are designed and operate specifically for ocean exploration. Each of the ROVs on each of the ships is a custom vehicle, designed based on well understood principles, of course, but it's really impossible to take an off-the-shelf ROV and simply drop it in the water. It has to be adapted with the right instruments and the right equipment to make it functional for ocean exploration. So yes, a vast team of experts are involved in making sure these things go in the water effectively and safely.
Fantastic. Thanks, David. And I am going to squeeze in one more question because I think it's a great one related to that future content. So Nicole noted that a lot of the resources that are available are pretty multimedia heavy, so image and videos. And that is true. As David mentioned, we're constantly exploring. And so that is content that we are all constantly creating and generating quickly. That said, there are plans and currently in motion efforts to constantly develop new education resources. And so all 3 organizations, that is something we are working on. So you'll see new student activities popping up on the site constantly. So stay tuned, keep coming back. And we'll also follow us all on social media for more updates as those come along. All right. That is all I have for the evening. But before we sign off and say goodbye, I want to make sure that we say thank you to everyone. So starting with our viewers. So thank you guys for joining us today. The questions we've had have been fantastic. And they've definitely kept us going. Again, if you have any questions that weren't answered today or that come up after the show, feel free to email us at that info@deepoceaneducation.org email address. And we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. I also want to thank our speakers tonight. So from all three of the organizations, we've got David, Carly, and Allison with us today. And thank you guys again. And the teams behind the scenes that represent each of these organizations were crucial. So none of this would be possible without any of them. Also want to bring back on Dejana. She represents our teacher team. So she's the only one with us tonight, but there were several of them along the way that really helped get this going and provide feedback throughout. And then again, a special nod to the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation and NOAA Education for their role in coordination and financing for the site. And if you love this style and you think it's fantastic, Gecko Designs and Jen Ortiz, our graphic designer, they have everything to do with the beauty of the site. And then again, have to thank our Inner Space Center because that is our behind the scenes team that makes this all happen and makes us look good, especially me when we're on camera. So thank them for hosting tonight's event and making sure things go smoothly. Awesome. Any final words, guys?
Just thanks, Liz and team for putting together a great show. Really enjoyed being able to participate.
Great. Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.